and welcome back to Zennial's podcast. We are here today with me, Tora. We got Chris, we got Amy, and we have Caraway.
Hello.
So, today is going to be our freestyle show, which means we're going to just talk about whatever topic comes to mind and whatever we feel appropriate. The first topic I'd like to talk about is that this week in the state of Texas, our governor has decided that we no longer need masks. Mask? Is that it? What's the plural of mask? Masks?
Masks.
Masks?
Yeah.
Muzzles.
We don't need any. We don't need
Lord.
any more face coverings, and all businesses will be opened up at 100% starting this coming up Wednesday. And our numbers really aren't that good. And I guess my question is to the group: how y'all feel? Okay, now we have one of our co-hosts resides in a different state. However, she is texting through. She said that a couple of times. Therefore, her opinion matters. So, what you guys? We ain't gotta wear no mask anymore, and all the businesses is gonna be opened up, and the clubs fixing to be popping again, and y'all can actually touch the strippers instead of staying 6 feet away. How y'all feel?
Finally.
I'm wearing my mask as long as as long as I can, because I don't trust people at all. I don't trust people.
I kind of like the way that some retail stores are doing it. Like, most of them are like they're requiring them, but they're not enforcing the policy due to employee safety, because they know that like there's going to be fights. There were fights when they went on. There are going to be fights when they came off. But then there are also stores that, like HEB, they're not enforcing it at all. They're saying you ain't got to wear a mask for shit. So if they want to have someone come in and, it gives people that don't want to wear a mask the option. And they can all go to that store, and if they all want to get sick, let them all, we can centralize the location where the thing's going down. And if I go to like Walmart, I still wear mine. I hate it, but I still put it on just because I know that some elderly lady is probably going to ask me to help her grab some crap off the top shelf. I don't want to like stand over and cough on her back or something, I still wear it out of respect for older people and immunocompromised people, but I'm happy for the option, to be able to. I hate going to a gas station and being like, man, I can't go in because I forgot my mask. Then I gotta like wait for someone to, a lot of times though, if you just ask someone walking in, like if you see a dude pull up in a work truck, ask them, they'll have extra masks every time. They always have a bag, but it's like at least 10. They hook you up.
It's never been a greater time to be a criminal, honestly, though, with masks. Because never before have you been able to enter a bank without your face being fully seen. Never before have you been able to enter any establishment with only part of your face seen.
Well, I'll be honest, the introvert in me absolutely loves this. I love the fact that you can't see my full face. I'm going to still wear a mask, just like basically for all the reasons Caraway has said, out of respect for everybody else. And because I'm quite all right with no one coughing on me. Let me tell you, the day that this was announced, I went to Walmart, made the mistake of going to Walmart, and there was this dude coming down the aisle, and I'm coming the other way. He didn't have a mask on or anything. Everywhere. I'm like, you can't even catch an elbow, my dude. Like, yeah. And I was completely. And I'm like, yo, I'm keeping my mask on, and I ran the other way. I didn't walk. I ran the other way.
So comments have been made, not within earshot of me, because apparently people value life, but around those that should have known better than to know that it wouldn't get back to me. That because you guys have decided that you no longer have to wear masks, and it's free for all, you guys should be domed. You shouldn't be allowed to leave.
Yeah, you told us that story. I heard that, and
Like the Simpsons movie?
Ugly.
And it was made by someone who's never been out of white bread America.
Yeah.
Comeuppance is coming, by the way. Emails were sent along with links.
You know, okay. In our division of Texas, not very many people understand that Texas and Texans feel that they are their own country for the most part. And
I'm telling you, I'm waiting for him to issue passports so I can move back home free will.
see, it doesn't go off well when you tell a native Texan something about Texas and you're not from there, you've never been there. It's a bad look all the way around.
Yeah.
Like I said, smart enough not to say it in front of me, not smart enough to realize that my mini-me would make sure I knew about it.
I can relate.
Period.
When I was up in Colorado, like, yeah, I'm proud to be a Texan, and I'm probably like overzealous about it. You do get shit on a little bit from being from here because it's a red state, and you know, you get everybody asking, "Oh, did you ride your horse to school?"
Damn sure did.
Not every day. Like, only if I was really low on gas, but I mean, it's not like a thing. You tell them traditions and stuff that we have here, and they're like blown away. Like, you know, most kids, by the time they're like, 6 or 7, they have a right. Like, it's just kind of a thing. And in other states, they're like, wait, what? Like, you have a gun? Yeah, no, you have a gun in the corner of your room that somebody breaks in, you shoot them a lot with it. It's nothing powerful.
Teach your 7-year-old daughters how to shoot a pistol and how to shoot a rifle.
Proudest moment of my life.
My niece went to the gun range for her 16th birthday. That's all she wanted. So yeah, it is a thing, I guess. We're just a little bit different.
But then on the other hand, we go crazy with it. Like, I know that it might be a thing in other like southern states, but in Texas, when you kill a deer for the first time, it's tradition. Crazy white people shit, I'll say it. It's tradition to cut the heart out of the deer and to take a bite from the deer, like to eat part of the heart as a way to like appreciate, you know, you give the thing is you're respecting the deer and like honoring it.
That's not necessarily
but
a Texas
it's also
thing.
it's also a very good way to get like salmonella and like all sorts of other diseases you don't want. So I opt out of that.
It's not really a Texas thing, so to speak.
Yeah, I've heard it done in like Georgia and other southern states.
It's also done up north of the Mason-Dixon line.
You get the point.
I've never even heard of. I would like to kill a deer, but I don't want to eat its heart.
Nope.
I don't want to do that, but I don't want to kill
for food. Yeah, for food, right? Like to eat. You don't just kill a deer.
Cars
there has to be a purpose to it.
So it doesn't hit a car?
Well, yeah. Yeah, deer actually, they cause more deaths in the United States than any other animal.
Because I've never hunted before, so I would like to hunt. Let me say that. Not necessarily a deer. I'll be happy with
it's a bitch. It sucks.
But
It'd be perfect for Tora. It's 8 hours of solitude in the hopes that you see something and can get your...
If you find the right patch with like pigs, it'll take you like no less than 2 hours to find something. But I mean, with pigs it's different because there's so many of them that it's a burden. Yeah. Like there's no tag limit in the state of Texas for pigs. If you see one, you can kill it, and you'll get the most you'll get will be discharging a firearm within city limits, but they won't issue you a ticket for hunting without a license. What's that?
Oh, never mind. I was like, I thought Amy was thinking about the same person I'm thinking about, but we actually know a hog man, if you will. We know a hog guy who does this, like makes a living out of this. We like us all together.
Yeah. I feel like I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So yeah, I know it's a thing. It's a thing.
He does it a totally different way though. That is the most primal form, and like I respect it because it's the most primal form of hunting. It's just the relationship between you, your dog, and your knife, and that is like, I mean, that's caveman shit. And props to him for being able to do that. But I don't trust
Seriously.
myself or a dog enough. I'm gonna sit back with like a shotgun and do my work from a good distance.
Yeah, and I'm glad that he I would rather him do it than me do it. So hey, kudos.
Yeah, it's good eating though. If you shave them down enough, that meat eventually is good. Yeah.
So how about this? Moving along from the mask mandate. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong. Recently, Lady Gaga had her dogs kidnapped.
Did you see the video?
I've seen the video that they show on PNC, but it's so grainy that I don't know what I'm looking at.
And they freeze frame right before the shot. Yeah.
So
Can we talk about how she was more worried about her dogs than her dog Walker getting shot?
$500,000 for each dog, and he's just like laid up in the hospital. Like what?
Didn't he
I don't
get
know,
shot in the
man.
chest or something like that?
If he did, it's going to cost a lot more than $500,000 to repair that. And
Wow.
dude, it like I'm suspicious about it.
Yeah. Do you think it was an inside job gone bad, or?
I think she suspects it is. I think that she absolutely suspects that it had,
She
because
wasn't too worried about any of it, to be honest with you.
yeah, I feel like the reason why she only put the reward out for the dogs is because she suspects that he may have done something and she might be a little salty at him. But then again, I don't know Lady Gaga. Like,
Right.
that whole world is so foreign to me that I'm just like, to me, it looks sketchy. And
Yeah. It does look sketchy.
I don't- there's so many French bulldogs.
dogs right there.
How'd they know it was hers? I mean, I guess you can buy a star map, and if you see, but there are so many French bulldogs out. Like, come on,
Yeah.
half $500,000 for a French bulldog, for real? I guess if you're attached to it, it's probably a purse dog, anyways.
She was out of the country when they were found.
Oh, did they get him back?
What's happened from the time they took him to the time that they found him? What hadn't she been in like London or something?
Spain.
Or yeah, Spain. She was somewhere else. She wasn't here. So I was just like, oh, that's I don't know. Listen, I only make limited comments for the fact that I am not a pet owner. So I don't know if that's your pet, if that's your buddy, your dogs, man. You pay if you have the money, would you pay it? You know?
Yeah, I would.
So I don't know. I'm not. I don't own any pets except for the strays that run my yard. But other than that, I don't know if I would, pay that money. But if you got it,
Yeah,
Just
to
talk
her,
about-
it's probably just a percentage.
We're talking about a woman who at one time wore a meat dress, okay?
they ain't good that night. They ain't good that night.
Yeah, I bet she got home and just like left it on the floor and they ate that
There you
shit.
go. Eat up. So what are you thinking? You're thinking that it was an inside job, or you think it was
I want to hear Chris's opinion.
too much? There you go. Chris, there you go.
I got nothing. I mean, I got nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, she wasn't even here when the dogs got stolen, and I agree with you. She put up the money for the dogs really, really quickly, but I haven't, there hasn't been any news on if she even put up any, medical expenses for her dog walker or whatever, which, I mean, she can keep that to herself if she wants to, but me personally, that's a whole part of the world that I really don't get into. I heard about it, just like I heard about Tiger Woods rolling over his car, all of that.
In a one vehicle accident.
One
Yeah.
accident.
And yet his tax claim came back needed.
I honestly think in his case that was pure speeding. I think
Yeah, I think he hit
he
something.
was speeding too fast and he lost control of his car.
Because he was trying to get to some benefit with a couple of football players, and
Yeah. I think
Have you seen what they did?
Even not hearing the story and just looking at his vehicle, that was a straight speeding. He unfortunately speeding. That's gonna be my thought process there.
Yeah, I saw that they put a bunch of steel rods and screws and stuff in his leg, and then next to the picture I was looking at was a picture of him during his golf swing, where he's pretty much just pivoting with like all of his foot on that one leg that they just put all these screws through. So I feel like we're kind of looking at like a situation where we've seen the best of that athlete. It'll be years before we ever see anything near what he's competed at, like, ever. That sucks. He's a young dude.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Got a couple years for sports, man.
Okay, I'm not big into golf or anything. So are y'all saying that y'all don't think he's gonna be able to make a comeback after this one?
No, because like one of the reasons why people play golf so much is because it makes you work out muscles, and like the stance and swing that you use, you only work those muscles out if you're playing golf. That's why you see people playing every single day. And if you have to take a week or 2 weeks off and those muscles start to lose the tension that they need, then you start to suck. Your swing isn't as good. You're not as tight as you used to be. So in his case, he's going to have to spend maybe months off of his feet altogether, and then he's going to have to go into rehab to learn how to like walk on that leg again, and have that thought in the back of his mind every time he twists his foot that his legs are going to snap. And then he's going to have to learn how to play golf again. So if he does play golf again, it'll probably be in a couple of years, but I don't see him returning to anything by he ain't playing in no Olympics.
Yeah, he's gonna be the bionic guy for a long time. But
with his money,
if he makes a comeback to playing golf, I mean, he was already 1 foot almost out of the door because having that back injury, that's not something you come back from, especially playing golf. But I don't unfortunately, I see this as kind of the end of the line for him. Welcome to retirement, take care of your kids, live a happy life type deal.
That sucks. Something else that sucks, I feel like it would be a complete injustice if I myself did not bring this up. The final episode of WandaVision came out.
Oh no.
And spoiler alert, all my questions weren't answered. Sons of bitches.
We're not.
They were not. But it's Marvel, so you know what? They'll be answered in like 4 years with the next movie. But I enjoyed the show. I was disappointed. I didn't see who I thought was going to show up. However, now I have a strange and odd attraction to Paul Bettany. So there's that. I won something out of it. Paul's looking real good these days. Have y'all seen him in that shirt? Oh, Lord, Jesus. But anyway, so I got something out of it. So,
I would love to make comment, but I've not seen a single episode.
I know that I'm like in the Marvel pool by myself over here, but I'm gonna swim this bitch and I'm gonna run these laps. Okay. Caraway?
Okay, I have a question. So I've watched up to like the 3rd or 4th episode, like the one where they just like decide to have babies.
Okay. It gets better.
Is every episode like synced up with a different decade? Or so like I know the first one was like set up in 50s, the second one 60s. Does it just progress that way? So eventually like it gets to the am I gonna see feature television here? Or,
yeah. No.
I don't know if I can handle that.
It's all sitcoms, and then like I guess like episode 7 they kind of explain why I did that, but yeah, it's pretty much linked up.
Okay.
Nope. We're jumping the ship. We're changing direction because I've about had it with this newfound generation and their need to cancel everything under the mother effing sun. I'm done with it. Let's cancel Eminem because, he talks about tying his woman up to the freaking bed and setting the house on fire because she freaking lied to him. But now, what? Nope, hold on. But now we're going to go after, so first it was Mr. Potato Head. And I'm going to let Dr. Seuss go because that was his whole, his publishing company as a whole made that decision that, hey, that's fine. I'm not even going to get mad, okay? But now we're going after Pepe Le Pew. a cartoon skunk. I'm
Okay, here's my thing.
He was a little rapey. I'm not gonna lie.
When it comes to the Eminem situation, kudos to the millennials because they got in that Gen Z ass. They was like, nah, you're not gonna do that. Kudos to the millennials because they got in that ass. Come on, we gotta get credit where credit is due.
Yeah, I give them that one.
Now, when it comes to the Dr. Seuss thing, I see the Dr. Seuss thing the way I see the Looney Tunes thing to a certain extent. Do I think Pepe? I knew this was coming. I saw this coming maybe a week or two ago. I was like, they fixing to get Pepe because he was a little handsy. I guarantee you somebody's gonna Me Too his ass. And what do you know? So I kind of saw that coming.
But this, meanwhile, broadcasting across our radios as our freaking 13 to 17-year-old daughters are twerking their ass like they're, yesterday's shit to wet ass pussy. Okay? This is why they got no say in fucking cartoon skunk.
Okay, so
she's got my vote.
Y'all know Cardi don't even let her daughter listen to her music. So I'm just saying there,
Which, okay, but mind you, they played this shit on the radio for a while before somebody figured out what the fuck it was.
I mean,
it was like when Skeet came out.
If you don't listen, and I'm not even being funny, but when she said something about the macaroni sound and then you didn't figure it out then you might need to go on and check yourself. I don't know if it's you or your girl, but somebody needs to help. Because if y'all ain't never heard the macaroni sound, then it was no good. It was whack. It was whack. I'm just gonna go and put it out there. And
but I mean, it's like this whole generation's offended by everything. Okay.
And
wet ass pussy is okay, but baby, it's cold outside. Baby,
that song's rapey too, though. I've always thought that song was creepy. It's a creepy song.
It's definitely creepy, and that song is definitely rapey. But Eartha Kitt's selling the shit out of that song. So
you could sing about clubbing baby seals, but if it's seals singing it, it'll sound good.
No, I'm sorry. Eartha Kitt, a whole nother song. What did she sing? Oh, Santa Baby. Now, Baby, It's Cold Outside. I mean, I've always felt that was a little uncomfortable. He's really pressing. He's really.
I can't leave. All right, fuck.
But when you think about the time when the song was written, okay, and you actually watch the movie that it was made for, it's not. I mean, he's not pressing for anything more than what she. And I'm not. Now look.
And back then, saying colored was appropriate.
It was, the fact that they weren't together and she went, back to his place anyway.
But I mean, it's a date. I ain't trying to stay the night, my dude. I'm gonna go.
The last thing you want is a girl in your apartment that's trying to leave and you won't let her. You don't want to be. No, cold as it is, you don't insist on that.
Now, when it comes down to Pepe Le Pew, I think the only reason he wasn't attractive is because he stank. Yeah. And because he stank is why he pressed so hard, is because he knows that was the unattraction. So that's why
I feel like.
Should Looney Tunes be canceled off of Pepe Le Pew? No, because I've seen some cartoons from Looney Tunes that should be definitely on the hit list if that's the case. Did anyone ever recall Elmer Fudd and Blackface?
Yeah.
With Pepe Le Pew. I gotta step back on that one. That's what we're canceling Looney Tunes for. It's gonna have to be a no for me because if we can take Elmer Fudd and Blackface for so long, we can keep on going with Pepe Le Pew. He never get the chick anyway, so she makes it.
Tom and Jerry went way further with blackface and portraying black people in a negative light, and they have a movie coming out soon. I bet you that gets canceled. They pull the plug on that quicker. I'll put $5 on that right now that Tom and Jerry doesn't come out.
Sir, Tom and Jerry's already out. Matter of fact, they're getting ready to roll it out to the movie theaters. Yeah, it came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
what? Oh man,
on the charts last week. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm surprised they didn't pull that. They skirted this whole Me Too cartoon crap. But Pepe Le Pew, I always figured was
he was a little pushy.
Yeah, he stank and he was pushy, but he tried to cover the odor up with like cologne and stuff. So he was like a 7th grader that like finally discovered Axe, but was thirsty as shit and was trying to like just cover up his BO with Axe body spray, doing whatever he could, but like just wouldn't let it go. Couldn't take a hint.
Wow. Okay. A 7th grader finally discovered Axe.
That's what I was
Oh man. So I mean, Pepe Le Pew, that whole set. I mean, I've read the comments on that, and yeah, I'm with like half of America here. It's like the person that wrote the op-ed for the New York Times probably isn't even old enough to have watched Pepe Le Pew long enough to know what Pepe Le Pew was about. Like, yes, Pepe Le Pew was handsy as hell. He had a problem. He had bad body odor. He never got the girl. I mean, if an 8-year-old me could figure out this dude was just wrong on so many different levels, I'm pretty sure a 30-something-year-old dude can figure out that this is a damn cartoon. Let it go. Now, to touch on the Dr. Seuss subject, Ames, I'll get right back to you. To touch on the Dr. Seuss subject, anybody realize they have not named any books that we actually have read? Because I don't know about y'all, but how many Dr. Seuss books has, between the 4 of us that we've read, how many have we read?
All of them?
I mean,
okay.
I've read quite a few.
I've read quite a few, but the books that were on the list of non-publishable, I don't remember.
Yeah, nobody's gonna read. Nobody. But at the same time, my thing is why? Okay, which is always my question. I know this is always my question, y'all. But why? Why are we doing this now? What is the point? What are you getting at? Why are you?
Who are you
concerned
saving?
about this now?
I go back to something I said a couple episodes ago. I think we're in a time of quote unquote awakening, and be it real, be it fake, you know, of course you, the individual, have to wade through this and, you know, figure out your own beliefs at the end of the day. But I think it's just a period where people's eyes are becoming a little bit more open to things around them, right or wrong, how they're dealing with the situations, right or wrong. I mean, who's to say, you know, who's to fault that person's belief system? Like the Eminem situation. Okay, kids, we've taught you over the years that domestic violence is wrong, yet there's a whole song where, you know, he basically is, you know, doing this to his wife. Okay, I personally, from sitting where I'm sitting, I can understand it, but I also feel like they're dumb. Like, the song was a song. Like Amy said before, it's art. There are many artistic pieces that depict very graphic and violent things. It's art. And if you can't separate art from real life, then there's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, going back to Tom and Jerry, like every time that there's a massive violent incident, they always say, oh, it's video games to blame. Well, I mean, if you're going to say that Pepe Le Pew was not a good influence on us, then Tom and Jerry like murder each other every time they talk to each other. How many incidents do you think of kids going to the hospital there are where there's something happened and they're like, well, I saw it on Tom and Jerry. I didn't think that it would burn them that bad. Well, the video games, hey, that's where you blame them.
And you know what? That actually reminds me about that whole campaign they had in the 90s about rap music, and I think that's where Tipper Gore came up with the whole parental advisory sticker, because was it Ice-T's Cop Killer or something? It was
the greatest thing for t-shirt logos ever.
Yeah, it was Ice-T's Cop Killer, and then you topped it off with Fuck the Police.
Yeah. Everybody just
her feelings got hurt.
And y'all remember, I don't know if y'all remember that, I think it was a state trooper ended up getting shot, and the guy was like, oh, I heard this Tupac song or some shit he said, and he's like, oh, that's why I shot him.
Yeah, I remember the story, I just can't remember remember what song it was, but I do remember the story.
To me, that's just like the video games and the cartoons, and everybody's looking for an excuse to not take responsibility for your own actions. And that's
then let's cancel scary movies and urban legends.
It's only right. It's only fair.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, if any of you are old enough to remember, a few years ago, there were a couple of girls, 13, 14 maybe, who decided, oh no, the Slender Man. And they coaxed their friend, quote unquote, because ain't the kind of friends I want, into the woods and proceeded to stab her a multitude of times. Well, ladies and gentlemen, those little girls now get to walk free. They served their 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years. They done went out, plotted, and went through with the plan of killing their quote friend in the name of Slender Man, who I happen to have. We had a Slender Man in my neighborhood when we were growing up, and we stayed far away from this dude, but he didn't kill nobody behind it. But anyway, neither here nor there. People in Linwood know what I'm talking about. Killed her in the name of somebody else and spent how many years? 4, 5 maybe?
Something like that.
Maybe.
Definitely said it.
More time than the kid who blatantly ran over 4 people and walked away with less than a slap on the wrist.
See, that to me that is a testament to how shitty the judicial system is on any parts, because I don't know how many people you guys know, but I know there's dudes doing more time in prison for getting caught with weed. And even going back, like, I'm a serious watcher of unsolved mysteries. The old ones. I like the old ones. I ain't watching. I really haven't gotten to the one on Netflix, but
it's not worth it.
You're a Robert Stack fan.
I'm a Robert. Yeah.
The Netflix series is not worth it.
See, so I really haven't really got into that. But you go and you watch these old unsolved mystery shows, and you're like, damn, it's a whole lot of murderers walking around. Because the update, they were released in 2007. Update.
Yeah.
Update. Like, damn.
Moved to Fort Worth in 2014. Oh, shit.
Update. Like, God, hey, y'all didn't put no. Listen, this dude literally killed 2 people, went on the run for 15 years.
You need to put a disclaimer at the front of the episode, like in the intro, say this dude might live down the street from you right now.
He might be down the street. And he served his time. And I'm like, there's a whole lot of prisoners running around. Meanwhile, all these dudes catching these weed cases or catching these dope cases, and they ain't in it for the rest of their life. He checks you out.
And what's really funny is
this dude killed a woman, went to prison, escaped from prison, was on the run for 15 years, found him, 15 years, he ended up killing another woman. They found him, convicted him, and he out of jail already. How the fuck did that happen?
And mind you, some of these guys still serving time on drug charges are serving time in states where it's now legal.
Hello, so you mean to tell me that old boy is in prison for weed, and you signed off on this bill to put old boy in prison for weed, but you done smoked some weed? I ain't gonna say nothing, but Kamala, sis, baby.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
If you get pulled over with a roach in Texas and you drop the roach in your soda can, they don't fish the roach out. They weigh the whole soda can, and that's the amount of marijuana that you're charged with. Yeah, that's just how they go about doing that. So for something that you would have gotten maybe paraphernalia for, you're now getting possession of 2 to 3 pounds or however much a full soda can would weigh. That's how they get people, and then those people end up spending time in jail for 10 plus years, and it's just a class on how to be a better criminal. Then they get out and they're like, the world has changed. I don't even know what a cell phone is. So I'm gonna commit more crimes and do what I've just learned how to do for 10 years.
And you know what? That's a shitty thing, and that's sucky. But guess what? Prison is a big business.
Yeah, make a lot of money.
workers to work there, and hell, if I could get you to work for 15 cents an hour, why not?
Bust them license plates out.
Why not? But yeah, that's my rant for the day about about the prison system and the judicial system sucking ass, because it really does. It really, really does. So I have a scenario question that I wanted to ask, and somebody had posed this question not too long ago, and I was like, oh, it's a good question. So
These are dangerous for me.
It's what?
These are dangerous for me.
You're not allowed to ask questions.
Yeah, I'm done. I'll field them to the chat before I ask them.
Okay. Cool. So here's the question. Let's say you were you asked a friend to come pick you up for work, right? On the way to work, that friend that picked you up gets a speeding ticket. Are you liable to pay that ticket, or is that on your friend?
My foot wasn't on the gas pedal.
Yeah, no, that's on them. I mean, I pick friends up all the time. If we're late, we're late. But you're gonna tell the boss we're late because I lost my ride. I'm not about to get a speeding ticket.
Listen, that speeding ticket is yours, just like that speeding ticket would be mine if I was the one that was driving. That's my personal opinion on that. Like, no, that
even if you pay it, I'm still gonna get the points on my license. Like,
Chris,
what's the point in asking somebody to pay it?
How many times driving home did I look at the speed limit and go, yeah, it's suggested?
Quite a few. Quite a few. And I know I'm bad for it.
You can skirt some stuff in our previous place of employment, if that's what you're talking about. Because I got...
This is getting through that place. Just getting from one end of that place to the other end of that place just to get out of there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can do it in record time.
I mean, really good.
I think I got from the far side of the airport back to home base in 3 minutes with planes coming in and out.
Dang. Did you have a fleet behind you with red and blues?
Nope.
Breaking land speed records across
Did you forget how much time one of us spent out there and how many friends I made? That's why I became the resident white girl. Because there are things I could get away with that nobody else could.
Speaking of past place, I put down in the chat last night, and I'm gonna repeat for the radio. We have a previous coworker that I swear, if y'all watch Coming to America, I swear that Wesley Snipes' character is modeled off of this man. I promise you. You go look at it, and all you're gonna do is see him. You're gonna crack up laughing every time he hits the screen.
Was he hollering for soup?
He was not hollering for soup.
Was he asking for Popeyes?
Listen, if y'all see this down to the walk.
That big dick energy.
Somebody put that man in a check, because they totally stole his whole identity.
Man.
That's neither here nor there. It was just hilarious to me. It was so funny to me. But my review on that movie, it's a pretty good movie. It's not as good as the first one, which I didn't expect it to be, but it is a good one. So
yeah, man.
And thank you for your update. I hadn't seen it. It is on my list of movies to watch. I have been a little bit busy this weekend, but I do intend on watching it.
I want to watch it, but I can't bring myself to do it because there's some movies that just don't need a sequel, and I feel like the sequel is going to ruin it.
Right. You know what? The thing about this is that I don't know what it's called. I call it the third and a half wall, where they were actually talking about themselves. And there was a scene where they were talking about something, and it's like, oh yeah, like it's kind of dumb or crazy, like making a movie 30 years later, putting a sequel to a movie 30 years later that was already good, that didn't need a sequel to it. They did something like that. It was kind of funny. So
that's the fourth wall break.
I mean, yeah, that definitely is a fourth wall break. But I mean, it's a good point though. I mean, that was a classic. Like, he had 3-4 straight classic movies right there that just didn't need to be touched ever again.
Yeah,
you can't touch Trading Places. You can't go back and remake Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay.
You can't go back and do Golden Child, and you should have never touched Coming to America.
now hold on. There's also listen. Okay, spoiler alert. Colin Farrell is in the movie, right? Y'all know who Colin Farrell is. We like Colin
Yeah.
Farrell. I don't like Colin. Oh my god. Okay, so Colin Farrell is in the movie, and he's referencing how his grandfather and his grandfather and his uncle started the business, Duke and Duke.
Duke and Duke.
And I was like, wait a minute, they lost the business at the end of the movie, but in Coming to America too, he gave them that lot of money, and they was like, oh, we back on.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it was cute. You know what? If you
that's a
like,
nice.
Yeah, it was.
That's
cute.
a nice gesture to acknowledge that you even did that in the first movie.
Right.
To bring it back to the second, yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, I thought it was cute. It was a little come around. It was a little, homage thing he paid, coming back around and saying, "Hey, I remember where I came from." But anyway, I like the movie. A lot of people I've known have said they did.
There's gonna be a few millennials, and there's gonna be a few of those Gen Z that's gonna be, this is offensive.
I feel like if they remade movies that, like, I don't know, I feel like making a sequel, as long as both the main casts are no longer in film anymore. Like, I would like to redo Stir Crazy with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. Hot take there.
Who would you put in their places though? Like who comedically could fit that void? Because that's in that case, in the case of that, I think that's where Hollywood makes a lot of mistakes, is that the comedic genius of Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor at that time was second to none.
Yeah, you can't do it again.
You could almost, because The Rock and Kevin Hart.
See, I was gonna say Kevin Hart.
The Rock and Kevin Hart have a dynamic between the two of them that's it's similar. I'm not even gonna say it's close, but it's similar.
Yeah, and they do, and it's so funny to watch them in a movie because they do, feed off each other just instantaneously, and they, starting from the very first one that they did. I could probably see that, but
are they like Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor level? Like,
no, that's what I'm saying.
No.
Similar. I wouldn't call it close. It would be very similar.
Yeah. I feel like you would have to find another actor to play Gene Wilder's part that would, like that would I hate to say it, but Seth Rogen isn't really typecast anymore. He's done like dramatic movies and stuff, but I don't know about the social dynamic between Kevin Hart and Seth Rogen. You know what I mean? But there's not really that many actors, comedic, like, white actors nowadays that have the same level of...
Gary Owens.
Where did Seth Rogen come from?
But
maybe Bill Burr.
But if we talking Gary Owens. Gary Owens is funny as hell, no doubt. But I don't think Gary reached the level that he should have reached outside of the 90s. Like, us 90s kids definitely know who Gary Owens is. A lot of people outside of that don't. Like, you have no clue who that guy is. I mean, funny as hell, though. Love him. To answer Amy's question about Seth Rogen, I think that's a snowball throw out there.
I'm just trying to find out where Caraway
find someone because Gene Wilder wasn't typecast. Like, he could play multi roles. He wasn't like set for just comedy. And I was trying to think of actors that kind of fit that role, where they're not just, whenever you see them in a movie, you kind of have to figure out, okay, is he going to be funny? Is he going to be, and he's been doing some dramatic stuff lately, but I don't think the dynamic between him and Kevin would be good enough.
No, that's why I said The Rock.
Yeah,
is
but
Seth even acting still? I'm sorry, I haven't kept up.
I think not since COVID. I don't think so. Maybe Bert. I don't know. I could think of a couple actors that might.
Seth Rogen hasn't been doing too much acting because he's been doing houseplants.
No way.
Weed. That's the name of his weed. Houseplant.
He
So Seth
would.
Rogen isn't really acting because he's doing what he wants. He's doing what he loves. He has his own weed house called Houseplants, and it comes with a little plant type of pot thing that it's in. It looks like it's a little growing out of a little pot, and the box is a lighter. Seth Rogen is on it, man.
Man. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
No one is. No one's surprised by that one.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's
But I mean, you know what? The branding of it looks amazing. Like I was like, oh, he put some work into this. Like it, man. Listen, trust me, Seth Rogen. Listen, if he got Snoop to be his spokesperson, everybody's on that. What are you talking about?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Freestyle, where we go from talking about the dynamic between Pryor and Wilder to Seth Rogen's new business.
And Snoop.
Snoop
and Snoop. And Snoop. But getting back to that, I don't think there's anybody comedically that stands out right now.
Yeah.
Right
that
now.
one would be a tough one to remake because it would be a lot of high expectations to it.
Yeah, it's probably best to like just wait until someone pops up.
Like
there's a lot of movies I just don't think should ever be remade, period.
Yeah. I think that might be another.
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder how long it'll be before Blazing Saddles is scrubbed from the internet.
Give it
That
2
thing
years.
it's a man less than that.
hey,
It's
we
gotta go.
quoting Tora right now. Tora said this is the 6th of this month. Tora has quoted in 2021. She said 2 years from now, this is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Right up there with Three Amigos.
We'll tell our kids about Blazing Saddles,
my
and they'll be like, "There's
God.
no way that was a thing."
Three Amigos was hilarious. But again, I don't understand how Gen Z doesn't understand how to separate art from real life. Like,
Yeah.
You know what?
Because it doesn't fit the narrative. It's the same as with the problem that some of the millennials have. It doesn't fit the narrative of the world they want.
that's
Well, you
great
know what?
and
I
all,
would
but
love to blame all of this on Gen Z, but somebody's feeding this shit to them. Like somebody's totally agreeing with them and saying, "Oh, well, you guys are so right, and we don't want
Gen
to
Y?
hurt your feelings." And there's some older people out there that's like
the millennials.
feeding into it.
It's got to be between the millennials and Gen Y.
I'm not gonna say everybody in our generation is not doing it. Like, come on, we got some punks in our generation too. We got some little
Yeah,
white crybabies in our generation too.
but the vast majority of us don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
We don't care.
yeah. I don't care.
mean, we don't.
I hope
care.
that I can raise my kid right enough to know that just because you see a cat smack a mouse with a ironing board, like you can't do that to some kid. Like you should know there's a level of jokes and art.
I don't know. I know a chick who decided to pop a guy on the back of the head with a frying pan, and her excuse was he was bigger than her. Mind you, he was washing dishes with his back to her, in no way attacking her.
Now, had she said because I saw Tom do it to Jerry or Jerry do it to Tom, that would be like, all right, lady, do we have to like cancel that whole cartoon? No.
Listen,
she assaulted that man. Like,
yeah, she assaulted that guy.
that's just assault.
Ooh, that's assault with a deadly weapon. I'm actually surprised they probably didn't try to get her for attempted murder. So I mean, yeah.
No, they actually dropped down both felony charges to misdemeanor domestic abuse.
For
On
who?
her part.
They dropped the charge.
For a frying pan to the back of the head.
For who?
Okay, so she got charged for that though, right?
Wait, who is she?
Just a
Somewhere.
chick I know. I'm just.
Okay. I thought we were talking about a celebrity or somebody. Okay.
No, just a chick I know. She got a $500 bail and was able to walk free.
Is the guy like? What happened to the
Smacking the
person?
guy on the back of the head.
Oh, stitches for sure.
Oh, God, yeah.
Something.
No, I mean concussion when he hit the ground. I mean,
I don't know. I've been watching CCAP waiting to see the upcoming court proceedings.
Man, that's insane. I know it's gotta hurt.
but in Florida,
Oh,
if you fire off warning shot to your abusive husband, you get 20 years prison sentence. So there's that. Judicial
matter of
system.
fact, is she still in prison right now?
She's still in prison, bro. They're not letting her out. She's still in
Dang,
prison.
20 years.
But
is
if you go
excessive.
off and kill your kids, You could be out in 5.
What did they get her with? Like attempted murder because she shot?
Yeah, she shot warning shots.
She should have been in Texas.
Yeah, that's why I don't like blanket laws like that.
Listen,
The same state where a man felt like a 17-year-old was a danger and he killed him. He got off. But she shot warning shots.
You and I both
to an
know.
abusive husband.
You and I both know that stand your ground law in Florida does not apply to everybody.
I'm sorry. I just can't believe she's still in jail for trying to protect her and her children in her home. It's not like she was out in public in a parking lot. She was at home. She didn't hit him. She wasn't trying to. It was warning shots so he could back the fuck up. Like, what did y'all want her to do? Die? You wanted her to get beat to death? You would have been satisfied.
Like an asshole of a DA. That's insane.
And she's 20 years for warning shots.
But in Texas, you can beat a man to death with your bare hands and just be like, all right, like, cops will just let you go as long as the circumstances are right.
True, because he shouldn't have raped that man's daughter.
Center, Texas. I'm glad you know the story.
Yeah, he should have done.
Yeah. In that circumstance, I would have expected to go to jail for sure, but
and he didn't. I was willing to do his time.
Yeah, no, and he was like, if I have to go, he even called like the ambulance. He's like, I fucking killed him. Like, I need someone to come out here and do something with this. And he was expecting to go to jail and was like, if we have to go, we have to go. But the coroner's like, no, dude, this is clearly like you're set. Don't even worry about it.
It was what did they call it? It was a passion.
Justifiable homicide.
Oh, it wasn't a crime of passion or something like that.
I mean, I guess that's what they would argue.
That's
an argument in court that can be made. But yeah, the legal term is justifiable homicide.
You know, I'm all for that. You know, I don't see any problem with that one.
Yeah.
I'm picky and biased in certain things. That one.
How do you feel about looting?
Who?
Like, how do you feel about people that get shot during looting? Because that's being justifiable homicide as well.
When I think of riots, I think of LA. And I think of the 92 riots in LA. What we saw was a bunch of upset people and a couple of instigators. And it's like that episode of the Boondocks, like Riley said. Somebody threw a chair, the whole club just
popped off.
Exactly.
And the funny thing is, the vast majority of the people that were in Kenosha were not even residents of Kenosha. Both the instigators and those there for the peaceful part of it. None of them were actually, a small fraction of those people were actually Kenosha residents.
Very small. So small that the people of Wisconsin almost didn't even know this stuff was happening until they watched the news. That's how small it was. Like literally, the individuals in Wisconsin, in Kenosha, that was organizing this protest actually had to call friends from other states and say, hey, can you help us out, because it's only like 10 of us. I think the number was like 50, 75 or something, but it was real small. And they literally had to call people from, other places, and people got wind of it, and here we are. 3 people, was it 2 people? 3 people lost their life. I think 3 people lost their life in that entire situation.
As the people of super white bread America said, oh no, that's a little too much there. Oh no.
What was the protest even about?
It was a Black Lives Matters protest. And there were people who were legitimately there on behalf of Black Lives Matter. What happened was there were a few from the organization who decided to go and turn it up a little bit. Yeah. And that's how it turned into what it was, and how it got to the point where our lovely Kenosha kid, who wasn't really from Kenosha, got into his bullshit. So there were multiple people at fault for that. Do I hold him solely responsible for the outcome of that? No, I don't. However,
I feel like if you chase a dude down with an AR-15, you're kind of asking to get fucked up.
Okay, but dude shouldn't have had an AR-15 and had no business being where he was. If I throw you in a den of lions, and the lions eat you, do I punish the lions?
And if a herd of sheep chase down a lion and 3 of them get fucked up, like, it's kind of the same situation. If you see a guy with an AR-15 running and like wrestling around with people on the ground, first thing I'm gonna do is get behind some hard fucking cover, because I don't know where the barrel of that thing's pointed. Like, I'm not saying that he's not wrong for being there, but I don't think that him being blamed entirely for those 3 people getting shot is like, don't fuck with a dude that's running away from you with a gun. He's running away from you. Let him go.
But he was running at them to begin with.
But he's running away from you.
Yeah, so I mean,
he that he should not have. Once they pass, it's done. It's over with. You go that way. They go that way. You came. You accomplished your mission. The fact that he went behind them and decided he needed to see whatever it is he was looking for, to me, that says I'm looking for an issue.
True.
Let me show you my gun.
True.
That's what I.
But if somebody says, "Let me show you my gun," and somebody says, "I'm gonna use my gun at you," like, had he just walked up and shot them, that would be one thing. But
what was the point of him following them? If you're in front of a cop car and you see the lights on and you pull over and he passes you by, and then you follow that police officer, what is the point of that?
At the point that he turned and ran from the mob, like, as soon as he said, "Okay, fuck this, I'm out," and started running away, the people that chased him, those are the people that are like, "You done fucked up." Like, it's the exact same situation. He shouldn't have gone there. They shouldn't have gone to him. He's trying to get away at that point.
Wasn't the same people that chased him down supposedly? Because I mean, at this point, hadn't he already shot people at this point when he turned around and started running the opposite direction?
No. He's running away from people. They get him on the ground, and as he's falling, he shoots one. Like, I believe he corrects his aim, shoots another one, and then one dude is leveling a pistol at him, and he shoots the 3rd guy in the arm. And the guy that is pointing the pistol at him is a convicted sex offender and is not supposed to be in possession of a firearm anyways. And I believe that dude, that guy might have fired a warning shot. So while he was running, he heard a shot behind him and knew the people chasing me are armed with a firearm. And then next thing he knows, he's on the ground getting hit in the head with the skateboard and has to defend himself. I'm not saying that he's a smart kid for going there or following those people, but I'm saying that if I see some wimpy kid fucking around with a gun that can kill people and is getting himself clearly into shit he has no idea what he's concerning himself with, if he runs away from me because I buck up at him, I'm gonna let him go, because I know that if you corner somebody like that, look what happened. That's my take.
Let's all agree that his ass shouldn't have been up there in the first damn place.
Agree.
You know what? I agree to blame his motherfucking mama. That bitch.
Yeah, she shouldn't have taken it. If she had not taken anything.
Get your ass at the house. Everybody should have stayed at the house. She knew that she was his ride. So let me just go up there and get you into some shit. I blame him because he's old enough to know better. Once them people left, you should have just left it alone. You came up there, you did what you were supposed to do. You came up there, you accomplished your mission, period. To chase after, that's dumb fuck. That's some shit. That's asinine to me. I personally would not have been coming towards the gun, but that's on me. I blame his mama. Y'all should have stayed at the house and watched this shit over the news. It should have been something you watch over the news. Do not go there for what? To protect what? Do you think?
Yeah, he had no business being there.
Do you honestly believe they would have looted that place had he not been there? You think that this kid is what made them decide, oh, we ain't gonna fuck with that place?
I think he said that they were like burning cars, and that once they kind of came out and said like, hey, fucking stop, they started to like move along. At that point he should have been like, cool, my job is done, but he persisted.
Yeah. He you know what, I think that this one is we're gonna agree to disagree on this one, because I don't think
I think that we agree on the main point.
Yeah, we all agree his ass shouldn't have been up there. But can we all agree that Chuck E. Cheese was definitely a part of our childhood and should not be in somebody's landfill somewhere posing for an album cover.
You know what?
When's the last time you
Because
really went?
I mean, like Chucky was it, man. You know, Chucky was the. I mean,
the beer is far too expensive. One pitcher
We're
per
going
table.
there for beer, man. Fuck them kids. I was about the tickets and the goddamn prize boots.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie, I had a really good birthday party at Showbiz. It was called Showbiz at the time.
Right. I mean, I remember Showbiz. Like, I grew up with Showbiz. I had Showbiz Pizza, where a kid could be a kid. Like, that was me all day. And then they moved it to Chucky and shit. And so now it's Chucky the Rat.
Okay. As a kid who spent my weekends on rotation, okay, between Showbiz and Chuck E. Cheese, and trust me, I have got the fucking memorabilia to prove it. Okay, I do. I've got Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz memorabilia that very few people to this day can still say they have.
Man.
Weird
Thank
flex,
you,
but okay.
Hey.
Thank you, Daddy.
Hey, she has Barbies older than me, so that's all I'm saying.
I have a very weird collection of things. I have
I'm not surprised in the
McDonald's.
slightest.
I have McDonald's toys that are still sealed in the plastic that very few people can complete a full set of. I have the Happy Meal Transformers.
Bro.
I kid you not.
Not the Happy Meal Transformer.
The Happy Meal Transformers.
Those
Okay?
things have to be worth like dozens of dollars.
Nah, man.
And they're still sealed in the plastic.
Some people that will pay hundreds of dollars for Happy Meal Transformers for real,
Man.
for
And
real.
like I said,
There's
still
a
sealed in the
market for that
plastic.
shit.
I have the Fraggle Rock toys that McDonald's did, still sealed.
That I could see being
Plastic.
worth some money.
Not the Fraggle Rock.
Yeah,
Oh,
Fraggle
yes.
Rock, I can see them. If
But,
you have any Dr. Seuss characters or fucking Pepe Le Pews, I'm sure they'll be worth some money here in a minute.
Very,
We're
very
gonna,
eclectic collection.
you know what? We're gonna have to stop disparaging the good damn name of Pepe Le Pew on this show. I mean, Pepe was.
How you gonna fault a French skunk?
I mean, he was suspect, and we all knew he
At
was
this point, it's
suspect.
slander.
Right, exactly. It's slander. We all knew he was suspect. I mean, we
Yeah.
grew up knowing he was suspect. We had conversations about him being suspect.
But
If anything, I feel like it taught girls how to reject boys without like, you know, like
like,
give them some pointers for sure.
like moving away real fast. Like, ew.
Yeah.
but no, back to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes, back to Chucky. I'm sorry.
Showbiz actually got absorbed by Chuck E. Cheese. That's why there are new characters in the Chuck E. Cheese band. The little purple monster dude was originally
Grimace?
It wasn't Grimace.
I'm just saying it was a rip off of.
It was
Grimace.
Grimace.
It was.
Yeah.
It was
But
Grimace Jr.
That was originally a Showbiz pizza character.
This is true. This is true. I remember
So-
my Showbiz guys.
Showbiz actually got absorbed by Chuck E. Cheese because Chuck E. had far more business on a regular basis. So Chuck E. Cheese was like, okay, rather than y'all just Chuck E. Cheese absorbed it because it allowed them to expand in locations where there was already a building that was completely set up for the same thing. It was just a matter of changing the animatronics.
I'm gonna say, man.
I saw a picture of a Chuck E. Cheese robot in a landfill, and it was the most terrifying shit I've ever seen in my life. But I wanted it. I was like, that would look cool as a Halloween decoration.
You know, there's actually a TikTok about Chuck E. Cheese's being haunted. The haunted Chuck E. Cheese and how the animatronics come to life, and how like 5 kids went missing out of one Chuck E. Cheese. And
Don't
they're
put that shit.
finding
Hey, don't put that
every-
shit in my head. Stop. No.
Look it up on TikTok.
When
It's
I was-
actually a TikTok thing.
No, I had a friend in high school who he had a birthday party for himself at Chuck E. Cheese, and when everybody left, they forgot him, like the birthday boy, and they were gone for like an hour, and it was like closing time, and eventually one of the employees was like, all right, at some point we have to like call the police. Like, this is not a safe place, like a fire department or a bus where you could just drop your baby off. And,
Closing time.
That's
You
all I'm
don't
thinking
have
of.
to go home, but you can't
Yeah.
stay here.
Yeah.
All
It
I'm
was a
thinking
very-
of.
he said even at a young age, he could feel like the cringe of all the employees being like, I really don't want to deal with this. Every fucking night, someone forgets their kid, and we have to deal with it. And as soon as we're about to call the cops, they show up. And sure enough, like right when they were about to call the cops, his mom pulled up and thought that it was one of those "Where's Kevin?" like
Wow.
Home Alone situations. They counted some kid that wasn't in the party, and
Wow.
yeah.
Like, how do you forget your kid at Chuck E. Cheese, bro?
That's what
The
exactly-
birthday boy.
Please leave me there, man. Leave me there.
Right. But leave me there with like
That's
$25, $30 so I can, you know, get some tokens.
Plug a
Now
machine
you
in.
just right now you just left me there. I ain't got no tokens. The pizza's gone. They feel
Oh.
the
You can go
staff
make
feel-
yourself a pizza in the bag. Just take all the old pieces that didn't get eaten, and
There you
make
go.
You know, I've heard that's how they do that. I've heard that whenever people like finish a pizza, they'll take like if there's 4 pieces eaten out of that and then 4 pieces from another table, they'll just like splice them together and then serve that the next time somebody orders a pepperoni. So the table
Why you
or like
special order every time.
yeah, because the pizzas are just like, think about how many kids walk around and cough on that shit, how many kids pick up a piece of pizza and put it back where their hands have been. Hell no.
Okay.
I go there.
I ordered. Look, I'm not even gonna lie. I ordered the pizza, the large pizza, and the 4 drinks, just so I could use my $19.99 coupon and have something to drink, unlimited refills, and my 100 tokens. I didn't give 2 fucks about the pizza. Nobody
they
gave 2
still
fucks
do
about
the
Chuck E. Cheese
one-
pizza.
1 pitcher per table for beer, because that's what it was when I went.
The fact that you were going there for beer, man. Why?
I wasn't going there for beer. It's not like that's the reason I was going. If I was gonna do that, I'd go to like Dave and Buster's or some shit, or D&D's.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, pizza was just it was nasty. The pizza was. I'm sorry, I never liked the
Yeah.
pizza. Like I would eat before I went to Chuck E. Cheese or after I left Chuck E. Cheese. I would never
Pre-game it.
yeah, exactly. I would never eat the pizza at Chuck E. Cheese. Even as an adult, when I went with my kids, you know, for different birthday parties, I would never eat there. We stopped
I
at somewhere.
I
celebrate-
might have to
my
order a
age.
pizza here in a minute.
I either went before or after. Like, no sir, no
I
sir.
think TGI Fridays then went just because, you know, I could play whatever game I wanted for 1 token. And, you know, I could get 6 tokens if I
Right
played it right for $1.
there you go.
And I had a crap ton of coupons, plus I was on like their email list, so I was getting even better deals.
There you go.
My dad really should have bought stock in Chuck E. Cheese, man. I'd have been fucking loaded.
Wow.
All right, nice.
Moving right along. Tora, what you got next?
What's something that y'all want to do this year? Fun.
I want to go tubing. Honestly, I feel like going tubing, like down the river or some shit with just 2 tubes and a case of beer. That'd be dope. And now that COVID's not really affecting, I mean, I guess we're just going balls to the wall here. I guess it's a possibility now.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. At this week, let's check back in July and see how we're doing.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah, see how many cases start popping up.
Right. Hopefully, we won't close back down. I'm sorry to talk about this is like 3 years ago. I would have never imagined,
Yeah.
never that this would be life.
I figured if it was gonna happen, it would have happened when all the Ebola shit came to Dallas. Like that, I felt like was scarier and more of a threat. But we contained it so quickly. I don't know if it was the administration or what, but there was that incident of the nurse flying out to some other state and getting somebody else sick. Yeah, with COVID, it just spread so fast. Like it shut everything down.
And you know what? I don't know. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I'm not an essential worker of any form, I don't know what the solution to this is. Like, it's like we could shut everything down, but if we do that, then people lose their jobs, the economy is lacking. But if we open everything back up, then everybody's getting sick and people are dying. It's like, I personally don't know what else we can do. I got
just
no
vaccinate everybody that we possibly can as fast as humanly possible.
That's gonna be a no for me.
That's pretty much.
Who are like, I'm not really good with having foreign.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not too happy about, like, I've heard rumors of them saying that if you want to renew your license or do certain things, that you'll have to have the vaccination, and that's all speculation. But
yeah, guess who riding dirty?
I ain't about to do that. Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not against it as far as everyone else goes. I'm not gonna tell you how you need to live your life and do what you need to do. If you want it, by all means, please get it. But for me, it's gonna be a no.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not standing out in front of anybody's, vaccination site with, signs saying don't do this. No, you want to do that, baby. It's kind of like touchy subject abortion. It's not for me, but I'm not going to protest you and try to stop you from doing it. You need to do it. Handle your business. Just like the vaccination, you need to do it. Handle your business. It's just not for me. So I cannot stand the thought of somebody coming to tell me, like, I have like 5 pet peeves and that's one of them. Please don't tell me how to live my life. Don't tell me what to do with my body, medically. Yeah, but that's on me.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing how it goes if they start making it mandatory. Will there just be zones that people go, or like just a zone or zip code where there's no vaccinations, and if you go there, like, you're assuming the risk, and everybody that lives in that, I don't know.
Isn't that a movie?
It could be.
No, it wasn't a movie. That was actually what they did this year, right? Do y'all remember that? Over the summer, they had this little city. They had made part of a city or something where nobody was. Oh,
well, Chaz, if you want to talk, Chaz or Chop up in Portland, that shit was a nightmare.
And
you're talking to, yeah, they tried that and it did not work out well for them.
Yeah. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah. They were like passing out firearms to like pretty much anybody that wanted to be security, and they had like an agricultural setup in the middle of a baseball field that was literally just like pieces of plywood with topsoil on top of it, and they tried to like plant, I think, corn or something on it. Like, there was no organization. In the 2 weeks that they were technically their own country, they had more police violence than any country that's ever existed. Like, more police fatalities and like shootings. It was, but that's a statistical anomaly because they're like 2 weeks old. But still, it didn't work out. I think the contrarians, the ones that don't want to get the vaccine just because it's part of the norm, those are going to be the ones that hold out and most likely get, sick. I heard something about the CDC putting out a zombie preparedness guide.
I would like to see this.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull that real quick. I'll link it in the chat. I
would like to see this. In the meantime, here's another question. Do y'all think we are in the midst of a zombie apocalypse? Are we living in it? Are we a part of the zombie apocalypse? No, Chris.
No, not yet.
Okay. No, now hear me out. Hear me out.
In a sense, yes.
You say yes. Okay, Amy, go. I just want to hear.
The same way that people don't want the vaccine because they don't want the freaking tracker put in them. It's the same reason that on technicality we are already in a zombie apocalypse, because what we have done is become zombies with these. Head down, face lost, completely oblivious to society.
Yeah, I think we reached that point, probably 2014, 15. Everybody just started getting glued to their phones constantly.
Yeah. So therefore, yes, technically, Mindless
Brain-eating
zombies.
zombies? Nah, but yeah, mindless for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that because I mean, I guess the definition, the zombie definition, it's kind of what we're doing right now with the. If you just go outside, listen. Not even that. I can go in my living room and try to have a conversation with my kid. I promise he don't hear nothing that I've said. He's out. He's zoned out on the phone. He don't hear anything. So I'm just like, yeah, this is very zombie-like, to put it. I guess.
Yeah. Like if there was a house fire, I would have to tell you, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, so
I linked the CDC link about talking for zombie preparedness in the chat. I didn't really go too into it. Talks about having like just a bunch of books. Zombie apocalypse CDC offers useful advice for any emergency.
is that real? Like a sad type of thing?
The USA Today post was made yesterday that I'm looking at. And then there's the CDC thing. I think the CDC thing is just like a search list.
Yeah, the CDC actually did release that. That's not fake. That's they actually released that.
They actually have a just the side of the Hunger Games layout for the country as well, or pandemic plagues, however you want to call it.
I'm glad we have oil.
You know, the whole
Always be valuable for
scenario booklet that was left behind for certain people in case of emergency that we just threw out at the beginning of said administration, and get us now.
It looks like a lot of the stuff they're suggesting is just stuff you would want to have anyways, like water, 1 gallon per day, food, medications. It doesn't say anything about like zombie specific stuff. Like it doesn't say to carry a gun or something.
In the event of an actual brain-eating zombie apocalypse, I have two things to say. One, there's a former dispatcher that I'm hooking up with. I've already made arrangements. It's all good. I'm in with the fam. I'm safe. Okay. Two, I'm perfectly okay. My only request, and I will try my damnedest to request it of the zombie, is please start from the bottom and work your way up. Because if I'm going to go out, I'm at least going to go out somewhat happy by being eaten.
You would want to be eaten
No,
from...
hey, I came for this.
Caraway, you missed that. You missed
Nope.
that. Well, don't you missed that, Caraway. Let
Look,
it ride.
Oh no!
I was actually
Oh
going.
no!
Yeah, I was actually in the midst of. Listen, I came back to my computer for this. You know, I'm with Amy. You know what I'm about? Amy got an idea. I'm riding with Amy on this one. I literally ran back to my laptop to make sure I said something about this. Yeah,
My sisters got me. And by the way, all you Gen Y, Gen Z, and millennials that are all upset that the white girl just said sister, yep, I did it.
Where's
And
my
I'm gonna do it
fucking
again
lighter?
and again and again. And if you're offended, good.
Yeah, I come back and ride with Amy on that one. She got a point. I don't see anything wrong with that statement. I'm gonna ride with her on this one. Now back to
I'm gonna
back
make
to
sure
what
I
I
got a
was saying.
cigarette in one hand and a drink in the other while it's happening, because I'm going out with a smile on my face.
What is the biggest animal that you think that you could take in hand-to-hand combat, Chris? Like, put in a ring, you have to kill this animal. What's the biggest you'd go?
a sparrow.
A sparrow? You can't even catch it. This thing's trying to kill you, by the way. It's not like you're just walking up on it and hitting it. Like, it knows
I'll
that...
take a sparrow out. What you talking about? I can take a
Can
sparrow.
it,
Yeah,
hey,
I
look,
feel like if it's pecking you, you could probably swat it out of the air and then just step on it.
who Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow?
I don't want to go as far as saying like a deer, but I do feel like a badger, like a big badger or something. Definitely not a fucking cat. No mountain lion or anything like that. But I feel like if there was like a badger that was trying to fuck me up, I could probably kill it.
All for getting in a ring with lions or tigers and playing with the danger claws, because I'm gonna pet it and I'm gonna tickle it and I'm gonna baby talk it.
Yeah. Oh, friggin' Amy would pick something that would for sure murder her. So she's like, no, this is my out, dude. I got mauled by a tiger. Cool.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
I have 9 cats. I'm gonna die by cat, okay? You guys are gonna
they're gonna eat you after
find
you
my
die.
remains, and the cats are gonna be like eating eyeballs.
Oh,
And it's just gonna be, it's gonna be what it is. That's how much I trust my cats.
They'll start with your nose.
You've planned this out?
My cats and I have had full discussions about this, okay?
Oh, okay. So they're aware of the situation. As long as they know.
Not only am I the resident white girl, I am the crazy cat lady, okay? And I own it. I own it.
Pumpkins. That's all I got to say. All right, Tora, come on with a question, please, before we fall too far off the deep end and start talking about how,
I want y'all to know about these questions, okay? These questions are being revised to sound a little more interesting. These are called kids table topics from Chick-fil-A, okay? So I'm working on that.
So we're answering questions from Chick-fil-A. All right.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna keep all comments to myself.
Okay. I got a question.
Shoot.
Take this however you want. If there was a smell that you could smell for the rest of your life, just one smell, what would it be?
Bath and Body Works vanilla bean lotion.
Warm vanilla sugar or frosted coconut snowball.
Weed.
Which, by the way,
Dumbest question for me to ask you, Caraway.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Legit dumbest question for me.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another nice little more adult question. Do you guys believe in friends with benefits? Can you have a friend with benefits?
I can weigh in on that.
Shoot.
I think it's doable because right now I have 2, and as long as there's like a mutual understanding that like, hey, this is not going anywhere at all, then it can work out. But 90% of the time that's not the case. Somebody has ulterior motives, and if one friend my golden rule is if one friend with benefits can understand and know about the other one, then it's usually a good sign. But once you tell them like, hey, I've got another one that's coming over tonight, I can't do that, then if they get salty, like, okay, this isn't gonna work, and that should be your red flag to get out of the situation, and maybe have a talk with them and be like, this is probably not gonna go the way that you want it to. In my experience, it works as long as everybody's understanding.
You gotta help him.
Well,
I know, man.
The only reason I wouldn't be okay with having a friend with benefit and then he having a friend with benefit is that's just too much pussy right there. Sorry, but it is. It's like, okay, I don't want to have sex with her, but technically I'm having sex with her because I'm having sex with you, and I just don't want to have sex with her. So can we like just me and you have sex and then not her?
Yeah, not her. See, if a girl has like multiple sexual partners, like, man,
it just seems like it's a lot.
Any
of
more than 2, it's.
Yeah. Okay. So you can't have.
You don't want to be on that episode of Maury. I'll say that.
So you can't have a friend.
See, now that was where I was about to go. Like, that's a whole episode of Maury that you don't want to be on.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be the one running from the couch to the back. Okay, and Maury chases you down. He puts his arm around you and tells you it's okay. And you don't want to be that one. You just don't.
Yeah, definitely not a good feeling. But I don't want to be the guy dancing there. I always felt bad for the girls. Like, dang, now she's got to go to man number 8.
Now, okay, well, that's just thing to an extent, and I get this thinking that I got from an ex-boyfriend after we had already broken up and everything, and I was telling him like, yeah, I'm pregnant. He was like, man, I don't understand. As a female, you have the responsibility of taking care of your own body, and I'm like, well, he didn't bring any condoms. That ain't on him. It's up to you to take care of your own body. He can't tell you to not have this baby if you want to have it. He can't tell you to have the baby if you want to have it. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Your responsibility to take care of your own body. Even if he don't have the condoms, you should at least have the condoms, have some birth control, something. So
yeah. But I've also gone over to girls' houses with the full intent of having, like, I mean, mutually agreed, like, hey, it's gonna happen. Like, don't even play. And the moment comes up, and then she's like, do you have a condom? And I don't. And she says no. And it's like, well, it sucks. but like that's it. You either go to CVS down the street and pay $6 for a pack and avoid paying child support for 18 years, or you freaking you definitely want to make that investment, short term, long term. But if you're not prepared for the situation, even if it's on the girl to to take care of her own shit, it's also on the guy to say, look, I don't want to take this risk and put myself in a situation where.
And see, there it is. Friends with benefits actually just is what it is. Benefits, people. We're friends. We have some extra benefits.
Sometimes there's an itch and it has to be scratched. And it's no fun to scratch it yourself sometimes.
Right.
Well, you know what? I think that it's because you know you. If you know yourself, then you can handle the situation better. For example, I know I'm not good at being a friend with benefits because I catch feels like that. So me and you being friends with benefits, unless you trying to have a girlfriend you ain't know about, it's not gonna happen over here. Because that's my boo now. You're my bae. So it's not gonna happen. But that's because I know myself. So I won't put myself in that situation. And because you know yourself, you know what kind of situations you can put yourself in. So I think it does have a lot to do with knowing yourself and being comfortable with yourself. Because you gonna be my hubby. We have sex, you my baby.
No doubt. You and that actually is advice for life, period. You got to know what situations you're putting yourself into. You got to know what you're comfortable with. You have to know, the people that you're surrounding yourself with. So if you know your friend with benefits is going to develop feelings at the end of the day, or had some form of feelings for you at some point, because friends talk, so you're going to eventually know the truth. If you know that happens and you're not looking for that, and you've expressed written consent that this is not what we're about, the thing that's the greater loss is not the sex but the friendship. For me, friendship means a lot, so that's the greater loss. And that's why having friends with benefits can be hard, because it's I'd rather have you as a friend than a side piece, I guess is the best way I can look at it without sounding very vulgar in this scenario. But
I know where you're coming from.
Right, exactly. So it's I'd much rather have you as if I care about you a lot, I'd rather have you as a friend than doing what we do.
Yeah, the boundaries have to be set super early. You have to pretty much as soon as you meet the person, you have to let them know hey.
I brought my husband out to meet my former FWB.
Cheers to you, baby. Cheers to you.
I would drink too, but
let them go shoot guns with each other in the middle of East nowhere.
You, my friend, are a gangster. That's all I'm saying. You're a gangster. You a gangster.
So how about this? Have y'all ever had a friend with benefit that you continued a friendship with, and it was y'all are still friends, y'all are good, y'all are cool?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, those friends, were they friends you've known for a long time, and it just happened, y'all was like, hey, I'm on a drought, you on a drought, and then it happened? Or was it just something that was more to the effect of...
I went fishing.
Okay.
In my experience, it wasn't really talked about. It just kind of happened, and then happened again. And then happened again, and then at a certain point she got into a relationship, so it was okay, this out of respect for y'all, obviously this isn't going to continue. And it worked out really well because neither of us had to say a word. It just kind of was a mutual we never even texted about it, never talked about it in person. It was just kind of hey, man, it's over, cool, I don't have to deal with losing a friend over some breakup or have her get jealous.
Yeah, see, and I was in the same boat. Have a friend, same prior situation, knowing each other for a long time. Things happen, things didn't happen. we've been friends ever since. I mean, we've been friends all through it. Like it really, I'm not even sure if it was talked about. It just kind of developed one time. It developed at a certain point, and then it just kind of went from there, and it just kind of, it kind of just stopped after that, and it was just like, cool, cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the ideal way to do it. Anytime you have to like tell them, that's when it sucks, because like you have to like inform them and break it down to them, like, hey, look, this thing that you like is not gonna happen anymore. And then it kind of sucks for them too whenever they have to tell you, and it's never comfortable for a girl to tell a guy like, hey, you need to move on. I'm sure. And I feel like that's a lot of reasons why people get butthurt, is because they don't ever actually say it, and then like months later they're like, what the fuck, you don't even talk to me anymore. When in reality, had they just been like, hey, look, let's just be friends again, probably would have worked out.
So another question that I have for those who have not already answered the question, and for those who are in current involvements, or what did Jada Pinky call it?
Entanglements.
For those of you who are in entanglements, does your significant other know the person, and they know that you and the person were a friend with benefit at one point in time?
I legit drove him out there, allowed them to hang out all night. They drank beer and shotguns together.
Yeah. Okay.
I've had significant others who knew the friend with benefits post incidents, and I never felt that it was appropriate to tell them, because I was like, what good can come of it, you know?
Right.
Like, there's no reason for them to know that I did that to them. Fuck that, because then they're gonna make me, I don't know, reciprocate.
Okay.
So the answer to that question is I never ran into that issue where I had to introduce or talk about it or anything. Actually, it just kind of was like we all kind of moved on with our life, and I have friendships where I know people for years and we don't talk, but as soon as we continue, as soon as we pick up the phone and start talking, it's like we never left. So yeah. I've never had that issue where I've had to, explain it or allow me to reintroduce myself type thing. No, it's just, it's out there in the wind. It's a part of history. It's part of my history. It's a part of that person's history. And we kind of just moved on after that, kept going after that. And it's a beautiful friendship. I mean, we still chat and, no issues.
Okay, I have another question. Kind of sticking on this subject here. Kind of, but not sort of. So here's the question. If you were to be involved with a person and you or the girl got pregnant, you say you want the baby, and she don't want the baby. She has an abortion. She says she wants the baby and you don't want the baby. Is it right for her to put child support on you, and should you have a choice in whether she gets that abortion? Y'all see, it was a two-part question, my bad. Did y'all see where I was going with that?
Sort of. So if she has the baby and she wants to keep it, should you be forced to pay child support?
Yes. And if she does not want to keep it, but you want it, should you have a say in her going to have an abortion?
If she doesn't want to keep it,
but you do,
like, I feel like that's entirely on her.
Amy, Chris, Amy.
Okay, so this was definitely a two-part question. I think on the second question that you asked, listen, if we had a discussion and the discussion turned into discussions need to be had. That's how I'm gonna leave that. Because I'm kind of, discussions need to be had on both parties. Like, everybody needs to be an adult and holler at each other. Just be like, yo, what do we want to do? Do we want to do this? Do we not? I mean, because ultimately the responsibility should have been taken before conception, and especially if you didn't feel like this is what you wanted to do in the first place, or if you felt like this is what you didn't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are ways around these things.
Yeah.
Contraception
Well,
is a mug. So
this one was I will give this was kind of a hot button one. Next time I'll ring my bell and say, hey, ding ding, and then y'all be like, no, don't ask no questions. Tora, shut up. And I can do that. It was just a question that kind of came from I don't know if y'all heard about how Sofia Vergara was in court for like some years behind her eggs and embryos because her ex wanted her embryos and she didn't want him to have them, but they had a previous agreement that, hey, we're gonna have a baby, this is how we're gonna do it, and he felt like those were his kids, and she's like, those belong to me. And they were going in court, and it became a court case. She won the court case where she doesn't get them back. But I was thinking about, okay, did he have a right to those? Because it was a plan. They set it out, and this is what he wanted to do. And but at the same time,
right? But they got divorced. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, but they got divorced, and. Because I didn't understand it either when I first saw the case 3 years ago. You all got divorced. Those are her eggs. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
But here's okay, see? So I saw it kind of like a dude. Because I was like, okay, he just wants this baby so he can get that child support. So that's what I was looking at. Like, if he did have the baby, would she be responsible for child support? Because those are hers. Those are her embryos. Those are her eggs.
Yeah, I mean, and now you're entering way into a field where it's like, okay,
a little much.
Yeah, because it's a little
used
touchy.
Those eggs. So you're saying if she used those eggs to artificially inseminate herself with his sperm, would he have to pay child support for those?
No, I was saying if he used her eggs and he inserted his sperm with her eggs, would she owe him child support? Because he's the one who wanted the kids, not her.
Damn, that's a good question.
So that's what I was like.
That's when you start getting into gray areas of legalese that I'm not smart enough to, well, not as smart or versed in. I have no idea how that will work out, because I mean, literally, you are absolutely correct. If you take her eggs, those are by all rights and biology her kids.
Yeah.
Is she responsible for paying child support?
Would you hold an egg donor responsible?
Right. Well, would you or would you hold a sperm donor responsible? So yeah, I'm thinking in the case of Sophia, in Sophia's case, unfortunately she's a celebrity, so they tend to look at those things differently, and like, okay, you have the financial support to do that, and that could have been the card he was trying to play, whereas hey, I'm gonna get a surrogate and I can get child support from her for 18 years, I can live good, or he could have been sincere and said, hey, I wanted to have kids with Sophia, we didn't have kids together, hey, we got these embryos locked up somewhere, and let me do this. And again, it's slippery slope. It's real slippery there. Like,
yeah, I don't even know how you go about that.
I'm not even sure there's a right answer for it,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm not even sure if there's a good answer for that.
Yeah, it's one of those that I guess one of those case by case type of situations. But it was just something I was putting out there, because I was like, would she have to pay child support for that baby if he ended up winning the case? So it was just something I was thinking about.
That would be insane if he pulled that off, though. If he just like cloned a baby for the check.
And just so he can have child support. I mean, it's not far from what a lot of other.
I've heard of stranger things happening.
Okay, how about this? Do you think men should be sterilized? At some point, should a man be sterilized? For example, Future, the fuck. That's all I'm asking.
How many kids he got now? How many kids does he have?
It's like 8 or 9, and it's not even that he has 8 or 9 kids, because I think Eddie Murphy has 10, but he's handling that. He fights with one BM every freaking month on how he shouldn't pay this, that, and the third. But at the same time, you go back, okay, listen, here's the thing. And I heard I heard a woman bring this up, that she couldn't understand why men, it was a comedian, I forget her name, but she couldn't understand why men would be so upset and woman bash a woman for using her looks to get money when the man is the one paying her behind her looks. So with that being said, going back to Future, are we at fault? Should we blame his baby moms or him? Because I know y'all know what kind of raggedy dude this dude is, but at the same time, he's still spitting them out, so why not get your money?
I think he's just got a weak pull-out game and isn't smart enough to realize that if he just like gets a vasectomy, he'll save so much money in the long run.
You know?
Like, that is a financial investment, dude. I get wanting to have a big family and like wanting a lot of kids, but dude, you're gonna have a big house. Like, every other weekend is gonna be a bitch for you for the rest of your life. So
I would imagine that for someone in that financial position, to get a vasectomy would be. But listen, if you don't want to stop it all, then why don't you just get snip,
yeah.
nip.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, how many rappers do you know of that had a moment where they were rich enough to support 8 kids for the rest of their lives, but then just blew it all and now can't support themselves?
Thanks.
Quite a few, but I guess I fail to understand why it is that he does not have a vasectomy. I mean, like, dude, what is wrong with you?
He's saving money.
Because you're absolutely right, Tora. He fights with every single one of his children's mothers on a month-to-month basis. Like, one of them calls him out, then another one calls him out, and then you kind of look at the females and it's like, why would you have a child with him if you already knew that this was what was going to go down? But at the same time, again, right back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier, both parties are responsible for the situation.
Yeah,
both parties
and when it comes to that type of thing, it's like, okay, some women tend to be a little bit out of control with that. Like, I don't understand why you would exactly need 50 grand a month to live and support you and your one child. I don't understand asking for asinine amounts of money like that. But
lifestyle.
I mean,
you want to live and provide a certain lifestyle for your child.
And I get it. That's all cool. That's good and great and everything. So why don't you get out and get to working on that lifestyle that you want?
Because some people don't think like that.
Well, okay, I'll take that. I am a different breed.
Because I mean, you're absolutely positively 100% correct. If you want $50,000 a month,
go get it.
Go get it. Go do the things that will get you that type of lifestyle that you want to give your child. And I understand, because we all want to give our children lifestyles that either we didn't have or we did have when we were growing up. But no. And I've watched these cases where, it's just like Dr. Dre's wife. I mean, you shouldn't have the kids right now with him, but she wants like $200,000 a month to keep the lifestyle that she had.
That was what I was thinking when I said that too.
Well,
I was
like, there, according to everything I keep reading, there's prenup issues. There are plenty of issues going on with that, and it's just like, why did you think that you were going to continue to have the lifestyle that you had? Like, you weren't in the gym shooting them shots.
But and it's, to me, it's, when it comes to that kind of situation, it can be a double-edged sword, being that some people are siding with her, like, oh, that's the lifestyle she's become accustomed to, and she held him down and she did all this. But when Mary J. Blige's ex-husband did the same thing, they bashed his ass. They drug him like, man, you a grown man, what you need all this money from this woman for? And this and that. But he was also accustomed to a certain type of lifestyle, and she had been taking care of his children. So was he wrong in asking for X amount of money for his alimony payments from her because he a man? Just a pleasure.
I wasn't, I don't think I ever bashed him, but I did have a thought process of, you're a producer, you're an executive. Why are you doing this? I mean, you could make the exact same amount of money that you're asking for from her on a monthly basis. What is wrong with you? That was my take on it, and I think I have that take on any celebrity divorce. It's just like, you know what, two celebrities, I'm almost sure that, you know, Jennifer Gardner was not taking care of Ben Affleck, and vice versa. They both came into the situation with their own money. Why are we at, you know, and as you can tell, neither one of them asked for alimony from each other. Why do we have other people doing the same? Like, make your money. Thought process.
Yeah, you know, they both have enough to live.
Yeah.
Live forever.
Thought process should have been coming into a marriage. How can we make money? How can I make money? How can you make money? How can we succeed? Just, that's my thought process. Like, how can we succeed together? How can we succeed separately? Make sure that we have forever and a day.
So for those who are married, is a marriage somewhat of a business venture?
I don't think I'd ever call it a business venture. No, it's a partnership.
Okay, I guess
it's a partnership. It's not. No, I mean, I know where you're going. I know where you were coming from with that, but no, it's a partnership. It's most definitely a partnership. But as with every partnership, you know, there can be some spinoffs. There can be some different companies below that partnership type deal going. So, you know, it's all about what you all want when you all come into the relationship. You know, if you have you know, you want to be a 50-50 partner, you want to be a stay-at-home mom, you want to be a stay-at-home wife, you know, you want to drink wine all day and, you know, things of that nature. You all got to make the decision when you come into it, not, you know, but it's never a business venture.
When Josh and I got together, I mean, we're both working. We merged. When we made the big move, I was a housewife for 6 months. It was a god-awful time. I've never been so bored in my life. But I mean, at this point, I mean, I could go back to being a stay-at-home wife very, very easily. I mean, I just have to find new homes for my four-legged children, because they're essentially the only reason I'm working. I mean, it's you get out what you put in. That's all there is to that.
And if you're not putting in $200,000 a month, you shouldn't be getting out $200,000 a month, because you didn't put that in there.
Agreed. Now, I understand there's emotional things that come with it, like, oh, you know, I was there for him when he was down and all this other stuff, but at the same time, it's kind of like, didn't you sign up for that? Like,
yeah, that's your job.
You sign up for, right? When you get married, it kind of says all these different words are said, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do that for you. So
it's not a job. I mean, it's a commitment. I mean, it's
an agreement.
Going back to the Zennials Uncut, staying away from pumpkins, but going back to Zennials Uncut, is foreplay necessary?
Absolutely not.
I'm gonna back that train up, because
I'm kidding.
I'm gonna back that train up, because we ain't riding into Pleasure Station without a little buildup. You gotta get the engines burning, all right? Then we can roll right into the Pleasure Station. Okay, but you gotta get the engines. You gotta get the engines turning.
Right, gotta get the gears wet a little bit. Gotta get the, you know.
It's like turning on a car. You turn the car on.
Gotta warm it up a little bit.
The fluids run through the engine. The engine starts warming up. You know, the engine start warming up. You on high idle for a little bit, and then sometimes, you know, you come back down a little bit, and then you put that thing in drive.
So if there's a certain situation where it is a quickie type of situation, should you already be in drive?
Oh, we had that thing in neutral. We had that new thing in neutral. We were coasting down the hill. You just go pop it in the gear and jump. All right.
I feel like I feel like the car should already be on if you're going for a quick speed. There should already be some.
The car.
Just a little quick stroll around the block.
The car has to already been, pumped and primed and ready to go. And that normally happens just going to the grocery store or something. Just go down the street a little bit, have a couple conversations while you're walking down the street, and then bada boom, bada
Hey, you
bing.
want to go down the scenic route?
Right.
Yeah,
you want to take the
scenic route?
Right. There's this great forest over here with these trees. We can go down we can walk down the walkway or whatever. Yeah, you gotta have
Oh, look, a secluded parking lot. Nice.
Exactly. Gotta have all of that together, just
Second underground floor airport parking lot.
okay.
Hey, man.
Wait.
I'm not gonna lie. That place saw some business.
That place saw too much. That place saw too much.
Yeah.
Who says it's not seeing business now just because you ain't there?
Oh, I'm sure it is. Dude, those flight attendants were freaks.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is that it is a possibility that it's still
So are the fleet service guys.
Yeah.
those guys too.
Wow. I have no idea what they're talking about, you guys.
Working up in the tower was
We got stories
fucking
to tell.
awesome. I'll say that much.
We got stories to tell.
My mind. See, listeners, I'm listening to you. I have no idea what's going on here. I'm not part of this generation of freaks.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that's Zennials After Dark right there, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little
After dark.
Zennials After Dark. Just a
Or what was Zennials Uncut?
Zennials Uncut, Zennials Uncut. Just a little pullback of the curtain there.
We can make money off of this, I'm telling you.
Man, we got stories to tell. We like Biggie. We got stories. We
Oh,
got
man.
stories. The problem is people put the stories together.
Yeah.
Oh man. Dang, I need
Definitely not gonna suggest the podcast to my mom. I'll tell you that.
So bad. Relationships are men and women relationships. Well, let me take that back. Let me not say men-women relationships, because there are all forms of all types of relationships. But relationships are, but to me, I always view them as partnerships. That's my partner. That's my ride or die. That's my 50%. That's the person that keeps me being held up when everything is falling apart, etc., etc. So yeah. But again, I mean, I don't know if we break up if you worth $200,000 a week though.
Man.
I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna listen. If we're in a partnership together and a relationship together, this is what I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna set you up that you can have your own $200,000 a week on your own.
You know what? And it's not to bash her.
No, not at all. Not by long shot.
I do wonder, like during the 20 some odd years that y'all were together, sis, did you not get stack? Like you know
Put
what?
some money to
Look,
the
this
side.
is my husband and we're partnership. Listen, babe, I'm thinking about opening this business. Give me something to do during the day. That way I ain't spending your money all the time. And boom, now you got your own. You need his 200,000. So, I mean, I'm just, it's different. We different. Everybody different.
There's investments for sure.
Something.
Yeah.
Pyramid scheme, something. I don't know. Just something.
Here's another question. Someone had hurt you, be it not physically. We're going to say not physically, but someone emotionally hurt you, and they come back to you some years later and ask for an apology. Do they deserve a second chance? Do they deserve your forgiveness?
Depends on what they did and how much they've changed since. It also depends, there are some unforgivable acts that you just can't go back from, and then there are ones that, if it doesn't hurt you actively at the moment, like what's the point in holding a grudge? All that does is give them an opportunity to live rent free in your head.
I am currently in a situation somewhere like that, somewhere where I did some wrong and I had to ask for forgiveness, and at the same time I asked for a second chance at being friends, and it's difficult. It's a difficult situation because it's because some parts or some days you can't get past what happened, and then there's some days where we're good, but it all depends on the person. Because like you said, like Caraway said, if that person came back to me and was a changed person, years later, whatever, I'm personally good with that. I don't hold. That's the thing about me. I don't hold any grudges against people. I don't need people living rent free in my head. 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna forget more than I remember certain situations. So I'll not even. Sometimes I won't even remember. People have apologized to me about situations that I had no idea what you were talking about. I'm like, huh? Yeah, I did this, and this. Oh, I appreciate you apologizing, but totally forgot about it. But yeah, it can be difficult, and the change has to be real. Like, definitely has to be real, and it's like no going back at that point in time. You gotta give them, your word that you changed, the situation is different, and keep going from there.
Yeah, I knew it was different when the drunk text stopped. I was like, all right, I haven't gotten one of those in like a couple months now. What's up with that? And then I hit her up and I was like, how are you doing? And found out that she'd like started managing her store and all sorts of shit. And I was like, all right, cool.
Is she attending rehab, or is this just a cold turkey type situation?
I think that enough of her friends had all at the same exact time said, look, we're done with your shit. And she didn't have the support or the enablers around her. So she just...
So
they called Tyrone?
Somewhat, yeah. They definitely, everybody had a mutual understanding to stop answering her phone calls.
They were tired of that shit.
Yeah.
That is, I mean,
it's cold, but it works. If it worked and kept her living, it was a success.
Yeah, hey, as long as she got the help that she got, or she got to the place where she needed to be, that's all that counts. That is all that counts.
Yeah.
I can forgive. Most times I can forget, and if we've reached that point, that you come back years later and apologize, I've probably moved on with my life to the point that okay. And if you ask me if we can be friends, it's like, nah, I've moved on from that point in my life, and there's nothing to pick up on.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes if you change enough, it's like, I mean, I forgive you, but what's the point in really trying to like rekindle something? We've grown apart so much in what, freaking 5-10 years that we've known each other. Yeah.
Totally agree on that one. Tora?
Well, I kind of asked that question just to see, range where everybody was at. I guess for me, I can do it. I have done it. I'm doing it now. But I do have my moments where I'm like, I'll go off. Like, I just go off because I'm so upset and disappointed at what could have been and what is. Like, you kind of fucked up some stuff for me, and I'm kind of pissed off that you did that, especially when we had made agreement on not to do that. And for me, again, I tend to be a very lovey and emotional person, so it depends on who I'm talking about and what I'm talking about. I have found that it is harder for me to forgive females than it is to forgive males, and it just depends on the situation, because
they try for
well for me, like, I can say that a friend of mine knew that my dude was messing around on me. It was easier for me to forgive the dude than to forgive my friend, because as my friend, you should have told me. I feel like we have loyalty to each other, and as my friend, you should have said something. Because you're loyal. I'm loyal to you, and you're loyal to me. But instead, since you decided not to speak on it, you were loyal to him, and it kind of jacked me up. So I'm cool with her. I talk to her, but I don't talk to her the way I used to, because I felt like that was fucked up. So yeah, I'm a little bit harder on the females in my life than I am the males in my life.
Yeah, I feel like there's certain situations where like there are things that are just unforgivable too. Like, I have a friend who went to college for like behavioral science, got a bachelor's in it, dedicated a good portion of his life to like working in this field, and then he was working at a hospital and for like a good couple of years, and one day a nurse that he had a disagreement with decided to accuse him of sexual harassment, and so he got fired from that job and can't work in the medical field whatsoever. And it's like this dude just spent 10 years of his life going to school for this one specific subject, and it's like kind of shows why you don't go to college for one particular thing, but it also shows that like somebody can just ruin your life out of nowhere. And if she were to go to him and apologize, I feel like even 20 years from now he would still like, luckily he's back in the medical field, but it did put a huge impact in his life. He lost his job, had to work at a warehouse for like 2 years, you know, put a big speed bump in progress that he was making anyways, all because some girl wanted to lie about some shit. And that I feel like is unforgivable. Like, you just set me back so long and risked my marriage and my family and all of this over something that, yeah.
I'm sorry, stuff like that, when it's like when it holds a lot of power and possibilities from your life, like you could lose your family, you could lose your job, you could
completely change, like a BC to AD moment,
yeah.
Like, you know, fuck
stuff
that.
like that is like, to have forgiveness is an amazing thing to me, because sometimes you just be like, man, I don't know how you did it, because that's like your whole livelihood was on the line, and you were able to forgive this person for fucking you over. I mean, kudos to you.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it. Those people are stronger than I am, because if somebody like derailed my life in a way like that, and there's still some people that I hold grudges against, but not enough to act on it. They piss me off every, you know, once in a while. I'll think, oh, if that person didn't. But then I also try to think about ways that I could have prevented that situation myself. Because like, all you can really do is learn from when people fuck you over. Like, you can't not trust anybody, but you can at least learn how to spot dishonest people.
Yeah, that's true. My next question is, do y'all have any questions? I'm sitting up here asking all the questions. I'm just like,
I've got a question.
Mike,
what was your BC to AD moment of life? Like, what was your moment where there was some great awakening that you realized, okay, I have to either live differently or progress this way?
There's been a few.
Yeah, same with me.
There's been a few. I will say this, okay. Woo! I'm gonna go out on a limb and discuss it. I've never really talked about it. One of my moments was in 2000, and I guess it was 2017. Okay, it goes back. 2013, I was in a complete darkness and depression from 2013 until 2017. Like, it was bad. Like, the only thing kept me living was my kids. That type of situation. All over a man that I dated. And that man left and never told me why. And I had to come to terms with not knowing what I did or what it was that to this day, I do not know. It left me in a bad way. Like, it was horrible. Like, it was horrible. To the point of like, okay, I ended up drinking a lot nightly. That's why you guys never really see me or hear me drinking, because I know my limits. And I went through a lot of drinking, and it was one of those secret shameful drinkings where I'm hiding in my room in the dark by myself and crying and drinking for about 4 years. And it got to a point where I was just completely disgusted with myself. And I know that I consider myself the spiritual one. I was like, I don't want nothing to do with God. You know, if this is what I got to go through, I'm good. Like, I was like, not who y'all are used to.
Yeah, that's the surprise. That's like honestly shocking.
I cut off everyone. I cut off everything. I didn't talk to anybody. I like let myself go. I'm not doing my hair. I'm not trying to eat right. I'm like, if I die, I die. It is what it is. I was in a bad way. I ended up getting another job because, sexual harassment pinned at the previous job. I couldn't do that anymore. So I had to get another job. Since I got demoted, they demoted me after that. So I was just like, okay, I'm out of here. Ended up getting another job, and that job, it was better, but it wasn't very much better. I mean, I wasn't being sexually harassed. I was being racially profiled there. So it was just a bad situation. My ex-fiance was living with me. I had him move back in with me. It was, oh my God, there was no sexual things though, but it was just so bad. It was just so bad. And look. It was so bad. And I ended up having to, I realized I had hit rock bottom. I was laid out on my floor with a couple of bottles, like half-ass passed out. And I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this anymore. And so I had to figure out how to maneuver my way out of it. And then I had a friend once give me information, a friend that's going to remain nameless. But she said the best way to get over somebody is to get up under somebody else. So I decided to take that advice, and the shit didn't work for me. It didn't work out. But I ended up pulling myself out of it. In 2007, I met this really, really amazing dude who sent me back into another spiral by 2018, which is another story. But that was the first time. So yeah, there's that.
Dang. What about the second?
First off, I'm gonna tell you right now, fireman's job is to get in, get it wet, fire out, get your fuck out.
Listen,
that's it.
It didn't work out like that for me because he was more than I wanted. And emotionally, he was unavailable for me. He had demons he needed to fight, and I wasn't capable of helping him fight his demons and mine at the same time. So yeah, had to move on without that one. But yeah, now that I brought the mood down, especially since
you said you had multiple days, multiple moments. What was the other moment?
The other moment,
obviously, whenever kids were born, right? First kid.
The last kid.
Yeah.
When he was born, I was on bed rest for 24 days, which sucked ass. I was on bed rest because my doctor didn't listen to me, which is another story that we could talk about later because I'm very adamant about that. This is the second doctor that didn't listen to me. But I ended up on bed rest. I wasn't a full 6 months, and I was in the hospital for 24 days. And they were like, hey, we're gonna have to have an emergency C-section. The hell you are. But yeah, they ended up doing it anyway, yo. And my son ended up in the NICU for 86 days.
Jesus, dude. What year was this?
This is 2018, 2019.
Okay.
It was a horrible situation, and I went through that all 2019 and decided that 2020 was going to be my year. I got that 2020 vision. It's going to be my year. And then I think it happened with everybody. Everybody was like, we got that 2020 vision. This is our year. This is our year. COVID said no. So,
yeah, no, 2020 started off, it was just a dumpster fire.
You know what? I think 2020 was like popping for everybody at the beginning, and then after that it was like fucking Jumanji.
Do you remember when everybody was like, oh, thank God 2016 is over?
Yes.
Oh, so many people died, Trump got elected. We're all like, okay, cool, now that that's over, we'll never see anything near as bad. Now we're just repeating last century, but plagues even in the right place.
I remember when 2016 was, and it was like, oh my gosh, 2016. Then 2017 came, and it was like, oh damn, 2017 sucks too. And now you're like, to only go outside and enjoy the life that I had in 2016. It would be nice.
Man, yeah.
What about
Although,
you
know what, I don't miss, like, being able to tell people to back up. Like, now you can appropriately tell people, like, hey man, can you give me some space? And they don't freak out. Like, whereas in 2016, if you told someone to back up, they'd be like, "Come on, bro, don't be a pussy." Obviously,
Never had that response when I told somebody back up, they backed up.
What?
This is the one thing that I've been glad that we've been able to do during this whole situation, because I cannot stand it when people stand in my space, especially when I'm in the store. If you too close behind me, I have PTSD. Like, you stand too close behind me, something might happen, and
I don't know.
I might just mule kick you for no reason.
You're too close. You're just too close to me. Like that. That's
okay.
Obviously, the day my daughter was born was one of them, but that's like a given. I don't know, man. Like, probably whenever we got our apartment in Colorado, and I had realized that it was possible for me to move across the country by myself with nothing but just like a couple bags and $100, and go from having literally nothing at all to having my own apartment at the place that I've always wanted to live. Like, because whenever I was like 14, my aunt flew us out to Colorado Springs because she worked as a family advocacy counselor out there for the troops in Fort Collins. And she just, as a vacation for summer, flew us out there. And I knew, like, before the plane even touched down, I was like, dude, I'm going to live here for the rest of my life. So I wanted to go there way before weed was even a thing, you know. That's what a lot of people assumed. But whenever they would ask, I would say, because of the view, dude. Because, like, Pueblo is just far enough out of the mountains that you can see the whole mountainscape, but close enough that you don't have to deal with the traffic or the weather from them. And finally being able to live in the place that I wanted to and doing it by myself, that was probably my DC to AD moment. But then again, I'm a lot younger than you guys, so whereas that happened for me, y'all probably would have been like, yeah, bruh, that's what you do.
Well, Amy, what is yours?
Do I really need to answer that? I mean, today has been both the proudest and most heartbreaking moment of my entire effing life. And I wasn't prepared for it. I'm still not prepared for it. And I'm still trying to cope with the reality of it. Because I am too fucking young for emptiness syndrome.
So does that mean you're gonna go and invest in a motorcycle and start riding around Wisconsin in a motorcycle?
No, that's
Oh no, I do not want to mingle with white bread America any more than I already do.
I don't think that's emptiness syndrome. I think that's more like midlife crisis.
I don't know. Me and Ames are about the same age, so I have no idea what's gonna happen next. So
I mean, I already have cats, and I have conversations with them.
I mean,
nothing wrong with that.
I would
the
say
cats are the cats. You know?
My kids,
Right.
they listen about as well as mine does.
Little fluffy, furry kids. Yeah, pretty much.
listen. Only one has even come into the shot today. You're doing good. You're doing good.
That's my one that will snuggle with me when she knows I'm down. Like
So she was just trying to come over and do her duty, and you sprayed her with vinegar.
Yes, I don't want you in my face.
Trying to do her duty.
I'm not in the mood. I don't want snuggles. I don't want cuddles, and I don't want hugs. I mean, I do, and it sounds really weird because my daughter's 17. But you know, I mean, that's who I want curled up on the couch with me right now. I want her to tell me that it was all a big mistake, and she's sorry, and she'll never do it again.
It doesn't sound weird at all. My daughter still insists on coming in here and get it, especially since my broke best friend is gone for the weekend. So my daughter insists on coming in here like, yo, I'm the replacement. I'm like, nah, you're too big. Get out of here. But, she doesn't listen. She insists on the snuggles and the cuddles, and I'm just like, your head is more than he does, but I guess I'll take it.
Like I shared in chat a while ago, this is harder on me, and I'm almost as drunk now as I was that night that we checked her in after putting her on a 24-hour watch.
Well, you know what? I think you're doing pretty good, Ames.
There's a part of me that's proud because it means I've done something right, that she feels confident enough. I mean, no, she's not completely on her own. She's with her effing boyfriend.
I mean, but still.
But, you know, I did something right enough that she felt confident enough that she could do this. But I'm mad at her because I was promised 32 and having to relocate for when she went to college, because how else am I supposed to continue to live with mom if I'm going to school out of state? Like, mom has to move with me so I can be there with her.
So you'll be moving back in soon.
My name's on her list. I'm gonna go live on their couch. I mean, it's...
You gotta do what you gotta do now.
No, I don't care what anybody says. Like, you just, there's no way to prepare for this.
Did you have a BC to AD moment, Chris, in your life?
Kids.
Yeah. That's usually the go-to.
Kids, and probably roughly around 2012. Roughly around 2012. And I think around 2012, it kind of clicked for me, some things that I wanted to do, how I wanted to act or whatever, and really what path I wanted to take. Prior to that, I had pretty much given myself to fighting to earn a spot, and not believing enough in myself to know that I was already enough as the person that I was. You know, I was fighting to earn it. I was doing more than I should have. I was carrying a lot on my back. Felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulders. And about 2010, the world stopped spinning for a while, and kind of threw me off. Kind of chucked me out there for a minute. So then the views changed, and took me about a year and a half, about 18 months. And then, you know, I got back on the bike, but I looked at everything a tad bit differently. And it kind of started the path to where we are now, because that was when I first started having the thoughts of creating a podcast and having the conversations that sparked the inevitable friendships and thought processes and hours of work that was put in behind the scenes to get us to where we are now. So yeah, 2012 was pivotal for me. Like,
I've never been happier to slip on a bathroom floor.
Very much so. Very, very much so.
Something.
And that's been the start of a beautiful run that's almost at 10 years now. Where are we at? We're at almost 9.
Oh shit, are we? Wow.
Yeah, we're almost 9 now.
So I guess, yeah, Caraway doesn't know the story of how you and I actually became pretty much inseparable. Way back in the early days of the theater, we were in a now long forgotten building. I had gone into the bathroom and somebody had cleaned the floors and failed to put up signs, and I slipped and fell and busted the crap out of my elbow and was basically put in an office chair. Chris was told to look after me, get the report filed, and make sure I didn't do anything. And from there, it's just been Cookie and Resident White Girl.
Makes sense.
That building, man.
That building is also where I met Tora.
It is.
And that building is where I met Tora. That building is where we sat down and had our first conversations. And I realized from that point that, yeah, nothing was ever going to be the same. And I had gained myself a little sister. So we had many of hours in that building.
Many of crazy things
in that building.
I remember going back and seeing you with the clipboard, like whenever I first showed up, and I was like, oh, dude, I'm set. Like, this motherfucker's holding the clipboard. I at least know he's got some direction. Let me go see if he needs me anywhere. And you were like, you want to do wide body? I was like, yeah, dude, whatever you have to do, just put me somewhere other than where I'm at now, because I hate this.
Well, you know what? When it comes to the 2012 and the contract that started, I didn't want any part of it, but I'm so happy I had parts of it because there were some pretty awesome people. Now there were some bitches, let it be known, but there were pretty awesome people that I got to deal with.
I remember 2 dudes trying to fight me and Steven as we walked through, and Steven looked at them, and one of them was just straight up like, "Hey man, I don't have beef with you, but if my homie's fighting him, I'm fighting you." And Chris was walking up, and they're like, "Hey man, Chris is coming. Don't do shit." And we just all split and walked in different directions. But they were about to tear into me and Steven over just walking through the warehouse and looking at the dude, which I guess I learned that day you don't do.
Nah, you just come over the radio and say, "Somebody better get down here before I snatch the weave up off this bitch's head," and you say it loud and clear over the radio.
Me and Steven were leaving
on the radio and snatch her weave off anyway, because she needed her weave snatched.
We were going home for the day, so we were already clocked out, and it was, you know how that place would get very quiet randomly, or not randomly, but there would be periods of the day where it would just be okay, there's nobody in this motherfucker. I've walked around, the only people that are here are the people that are making sugar packets.
Yo, like I said, 2012 was pivotal. 2012 got us here to 2021. So for me, that was turning point. I don't think, honestly, I'd be the person that I am now as far as the things that I know without 2012.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I experienced that. I'm glad that I met the people that I got to meet. I'm glad I got a chance to still be friends with a lot of people from that experience.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I don't feel like I would have been the person that I am now, and if 2012 didn't happen. Hey, good. Thanks Y2K. Thanks for. Was it Y2K? What was it? No, thanks. Mayan.
It was Mayans.
Happened.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you guys spared us. Thanks, Universe, for sparing us, because I did 2012 to get you some stuff. So appreciate that.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Right. So I mean, those were 2 pivotal moments, and there are a couple more that I won't get into. But those are 2 that really that's made me who I am today. So we keep it moving.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you guys. Episode 10, our freestyle episode. Thanks for listening in. We appreciate the time and energy you have spent.
And your patience.
Yeah, you can find us at Spotify, Apple, Anchor, Google, under Zennials Podcast.
We're on Instagram, the Zennials Podcast.
Also at Facebook and Twitter at the Zennials Podcast.
Snapchat and TikTok, the Zennials Pod.
And you can email us at zennialspodcast7270@gmail.com. Say goodnight, Tora.
Good night, Tora.